Yeah, good move. Should be over.
Championship contender. Oh, he's going to launch down the inside. And there you have it. All said and done.
Metro trying to the inside. Here we are then. For the lead. For the lead. Does he make a move? Tries. No, can't do it. Gets his nose chopped right off. Not close enough to make a move. I would have faked down the inside. What a dive. And does do it. What a dive from such a long way back.
Unbelievable.
That wasn't even an overtaking opportunity, and now he's coming back side by side, down into the right-hander, and they almost touch around the outside, now down the inside. Look at this, side by side. Absolutely bonkers, and this lets Pirelli catch up. Down the inside goes, down the inside. Beautiful move. Does he do it? Pulls it off. Fantastic move there. It was Gav left.
Oh, Tsuki. Oh my. The most cartoon crash ever. It's no improvement for Hiker. Is it going to be one for 8 Forgets? Yes, but they... Oh my god. Now that is teammates. That is how identical those cars are. Exactly the same time. 120.823.
Down the inside here, he'll try the... Oh, he's on the grass! On the grass! And passes! And tries! Now he's going to be diving on the brake. Down the inside goes Sigurdsson and go. What a move from the Italian!
There's 1 point in it. Van Elk wins by 1 point otherwise. So Razy's got... He's lost it. Oh, Van Elk spun. Van Elk, they both spun. Oh my god. Oh my god. They will both be going mental.
Sweden wins the American Grand Prix. Let's go to third position, Low, as coming through and crossing the line, your new world champion. Hyo is the champion of the world. Metro 666 comes the line and wins the Japanese Grand Prix, and with it the title itself, and slows right down.
Is he gonna? Yeah.
And world champion, Vectro 666, finally. Well, 5 lights, and we're underway, and well, there goes the grid, and they're gone. Something has gone horribly wrong.
Up the inside of Hiker. Nice move there. Hiker noticed him and gave the space.
And away we go, and it's a very good start from Rip It Up. Look at him, right down the middle. Vectro also getting away very well there. Sig up the inside. Is he going to make it stick? Yes, he is. No, he's not.
Almost made contact.
Almost made contact there.
Get through. I think they've all got through.
Everyone has got through there. Rip It Up going a bit slowly on the inside there. Solid Salita losing the back end, but keeps it.
See down the inside. That's going to be a easy move if he does get anywhere. But again, Furia breaks very late. Oh.
Here as these two battle away. Skulls going around the outside later on the brakes. Harry Butter taking the inside line. He's still there. Harry Butter's gone wide. Skull diving all over the place on the track. He's got to be careful of Boston Road. Boston Road's caught right up. Boston Road's going up the inside. Skull's just noticed him. They're side by side, almost.
He's looking around the outside into the last corner, into the Clark curve. That's brave. That's very brave.
You think this one's Hector? Oh boy, yeah.
Oh, he tried that inside! And he got to move this time. He's alongside and trying and hurry. And he's trying to the outside. Is he even going to give him that? He's going to brake late. Can Andre try a cutback? No, not yet. He'll be brave to go on the lead. Looking for the lead. Vectro takes the lead. Here, and now red timing and hits him almost. Does almost hit him.
I thought he was going to then, but he moved. I think he moved over.
The inside goes DJ. Does he make the move? No, he backs out of it. No, he doesn't. No, he definitely doesn't. Well, down the inside goes Matteo. There we go. Back down the inside. Have that one, Sunshine. Now he's going to go around the inside again, isn't he? If he goes down the inside again, I'll be bonkered. Nah, you can't. That's going to end the contact. There's onside, and then to backs out of it. Oh, he runs wide. Oh, he's going to go down the inside. That's Alonso. No, it was Alonso to Massa. Oh, that's Ferrari around this corner. Here we are then for the Belgium Grand Prix. 5 lights. Go! And Barry gets a fantastic start. Ethan left trolling behind there. And further back, Ethan already going defensive at turn 1. Down the inside comes one of the BMWs now. And almost taps the side of the Mercedes further back. Carnage going on there. And I believe they all get through cleanly at turn 1 this time. Ferrari, though, he's going to have a look down the inside. Down the inside goes Ferrari. Covering off goes the Ferrari. Round the outside goes it forgets. Well, this is bonkers down the back. Well, talk about great racing to end the year. Again, not good enough there. It's this track. He's going to try on the outside. One's wide, and he's going to be side by side. Is Salita going to try down the inside? They're going to make contact. They're not.
Vectra's ran off the track. Yes. Vectra did run off the track there, but I don't think...
Get away with it.
He might just get away with it.
Going to make the move. Yes. Into the lead. Pulls alongside. Pulls ahead the Audi. First of the Ferrari. Now Ronnie is going to be going shallow. Can he go on the outside again? Yes. Yes. Fight. And takes the lead again. And watch out for that McLaren following behind. This is fantastic stuff. Your top 3 separated by under 1 second. And coming along is Solo Salita. He's going to try turn 1. Does he get through? They all finally, I think they've all got through at turn 1 correctly. I think it's finally happened. They've all got through turn 1. Will they get through turn 2? They almost make contact at the back. They're all squirming together.
Let's see, and Alessia's lost it again, and a Ferrari at the same time. Synchronised spinning right there.
I don't think anything can Red do. Gav into the lead. Gav leads the Belgian Grand Prix. And boy, oh boy, has this turned into a shocker. Red in the pit for the lead. He's got a beautiful run. Slingshots past and takes the lead. Now, we'll have the inside. Now, this could be close. And down the inside. Yes, he does do it. One's a bit wide. Cut back. Could be the options. Now, side by side, as they come down here. Ho's going to try and give him as much of a squeeze. And does take second position there. Oh, he tries to backs out that time. It's the rear almost there.
So close.
Behind the slipstream. I don't think Alessia's going to do too much about this as he goes down the inside into turn 1. Alessia's going to try and hold it around the outside. Gets on the grass around the outside. Alessia tries to hold on, and it's not going to quite do it for Alessia. And Ferrari makes that move and gets it finished.
Pulling along. He's going to go to the lead. They've got Sig on the outside. It's going to be free into turn 1. Is it all going to be clean? The answer to that is a grand total of yes. It seems to be. Running wide. There goes Fundown. He's going to jump up to second. Sig drops down to 4th, and this is going
third position in this Grand Prix. Look at Pancho. He might give him a little squeeze towards the wall. Down the inside goes in for yes for 3rd position. Can he get it done, or will he hold it around the outside? He'll try. He will try to hold it around the outside. He gives him the squeeze. Contact made. Good little battle. In forgets will move to 3rd position, and can he come back? No, he can't. Good little battle from those two guys there.
Brave if he's going to try. I think he'll back out of it. Surely he has to, unless it's me, because I would have made a move, but he backs out of it. One's wide. He's going to go for the lead. He is into the lead, and he leads. Skull leads. Battling that was handleable there. Down the inside. That's a good move. Get it there, over the curve, backing tyres.
Did he cut him there? Did he cut him? I thought he cut him.
Does it. Podium. He's on the podium. Finally, he's done it. After so long. Forza Gavra, there's everyone celebrating. Solo Salita's just having a donut. Does do it. Same position where another car with a side-by-side down to a route. This could end badly. Does it? Brazy bravely backs out of that one. He's not going to try that. He'd be mad to try side-by-side.
Ruapuna Park, the lights go red for Ruapuna Park, round 6. And it's go! And Cash gets an amazing start for Raleigh. Gets away well. Alessio gets a storming start, goes into second. He's going to
try it.
On the brakes.
Yes, he tries, takes a slice. Down inside he goes. One's wide. Throws him through as well. And into second place. That's how you do
12
it. 12
cars are within a second of each other. Actually, 13 are within a second of each other. That is actually madness. That shows how evenly matched it is.
Might take him on the inside again.
He's challenging. Oh, he's going to this. No. Sig battles with a wild Renault. Look at that side by side behind. Around the outside. Sig, and I think around the outside as well. To go GT Luke, and they're still side by side. Would you look at this? You don't see this very often. Ooh. Wow, great stuff between those two.
Side by side again.
Yeah, good move. Should be able.
Championship contender. Oh, he's going to launch down the inside. And there you have it. All said and done.
Metro trying to the inside. Here we are then. For the lead. Does he make a move? Tries. No, can't do it. Gets his nose chopped right off. Not close enough to make a move. I would have think down the inside. What a dive. And does do it. What a dive from such a long way back.
Unbelievable.
That wasn't even an overtaking opportunity, and now he's coming back side by side, down into the right-hander, and they almost touch around the outside, now down the inside. Look at this, side by side. Absolutely bonkers, and this lets Pirelli catch up. Down the inside goes, down the inside. Beautiful move. Does he do it? Pulls it off. Fantastic move there.
There was Gav left.
Oh, Tsuki! Oh my... The most cartoon crash ever. It's no improvement for Hiker. Is it going to be one for 8 forgets? Yes, but they... Oh my god. Now that is teammates. That is how identical those cars are. Exactly the same time. 120.823.
Down the inside here, he'll try the... Oh, he's on the grass! On the grass! And passes! And tries! Now he's going to be diving on the brake! Down the inside goes Seppelson and go. What a move from the Italian!
There's 1 point in it. Van Elk wins by 1 point otherwise. So Razy's got... He's he's lost it. Oh, Van Elk spun. Van Elk, they both spun. Oh my god. Oh my god. They will both be going mental.
Sweden wins the American Grand Prix. Let's go to 3rd position, Low, as coming through and crossing the line, your new world champion. Hyo is the champion of the world. Metro 666 comes the line and wins the Japanese Grand Prix, and with it the title itself, and slows right down.
Is he gonna? Yeah.
And world champion, Vectro 666, finally. Well, 5 lights, and we're underway, and well, there goes the grid, and they're gone. Something has gone horribly wrong.
Up the inside of Hiker, nice move there. Hiker noticed him and gave the space.
And away we go, and it's a very good start from Rip It Up. Look at him, right down the middle. Vectro also getting away very well there. Sig up the inside. Is he going to make it stick? Yes, he is. No, he's not.
Almost made contact.
Almost made contact there.
Get through. I think they've all got through.
Everyone has got through there. Rip It Up going a bit slowly on the inside there. Solid Salita losing the back end, but keeps it.
See down the inside. That's going to be a easy move if he does get anywhere, but again, Furia breaks very late. Oh.
Here as these two battle away, Skulls going around the outside, later on the brakes. Harry Potter taking the inside line, he's still there. Harry Potter's gone wide. Skull diving all over the place on the track. He's got to be careful of Boston Road. Boston Road's caught right up. Boston Road's going up the inside. Skull's just noticed him. They're side by side, almost.
He's looking around the outside into the last corner, into the Clark curve. That's brave. That's very brave.
Do you think this one checked it? Oh boy, yeah.
Oh, he tried down the inside! And he got to move this time. He's alongside and trying and hurry. And he's trying to the outside. Is Ethan going to give him that? He's going to brake late. Can Andre try a cutback? No, not yet. He'll be brave to go on the lead. Looking for the lead. Vectro takes the lead. Here, and now red timing and hits him almost. Does almost hit him.
I thought he was going to then, but he moved. I think he moved over.
The inside goes DJ. Does he make the move? No, he backs out of it. No, he doesn't. No, he definitely doesn't. Well, down the inside goes Matteo. There we go. Back down the inside. Have that one, Sunshine. Now he's going to go around the inside again, isn't he? If he goes down the inside again, I'll be bonkered. Nah, you can't. That's going to end the contact. There's on side, and then to backs out of it. Oh, he runs wide. Oh, he's going to go down the inside. That's Alonso. There was Alonso to Massa. Oh, that's Ferrari around this corner. Here we are then for the Belgium Grand Prix. 5 lights. Go! And Barry gets a fantastic start. Ethan left trolling behind there. And further back, Ethan already going defensive at turn 1. Down the inside comes one of the BMWs now. And almost taps the side of the Mercedes further back. Carnage going on there. And I believe they all get through cleanly at turn 1 this time. Ferrari though, he's going to have a look down the inside. Down the inside goes Ferrari. Covering off goes the Ferrari. Round the outside goes it forgets. Well, this is bonkers down the back. Well, talk about great racing to end the year.
Again, not good enough there. It's this track.
Oh, so
he's going to try on the outside. Runs wide.
and he's going to be side by side. Is Salita going to try down the inside? They're going to make contact. They're not.
Vectra's ran off the track. Yes. Vectra did run off the track there, but I don't think
get away with it.
He might just get away with it.
Going to make the move. Yes. Into the lead. Pulls alongside. Pulls ahead the Audi. First of the Ferrari. Now Ronnie is going to be going shallow. Can he go on the outside again? Yes. Yes. Fight. And takes the lead again. And watch out for that McLaren following behind. This is fantastic stuff. Your top three separated by under 1 second. And coming along is Solo Salita. He's going to try turn 1. Does he get through? They all finally, I think they've all got through at turn 1 correctly. I think it's finally happened. They've all got through turn 1. Will they get through turn 2? They almost make contact at the back. They're all squirming together.
Let's see, and Alessia's lost it again, and a Ferrari at the same time. Synchronised spinning right there.
I don't think anything can Red do. Gav into the lead. Gav leads the Belgian Grand Prix. And boy, oh boy, has this turned into a shocker. Red in the pit for the lead. He's got a beautiful run. Slingshots past and takes the lead.
Hello and welcome to the Autodromo Nacional del Monza, and here we are for the GT3 GAVRA Racing Championship as we see the cars run around this fantastic track, the Monza Grand Prix. I'm welcomed here today by my co-commentators of Heo and Hairy Buddha, and myself, obviously Grunting Tortoise, also known as Finn Kelly. Boys, how do we feel about this track today?
Hi everybody, yeah, Harry Buddha here, also known as David. Yeah, I love the track. Monza's a great place for a race, and excited for another instalment in the GT3 Championship. It's been a good series so far, and yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, hi from me also, Hio here. Yeah, let's see what this race brings. Monza is always a very nice track, nice chicanes, long straights for a lot of overtaking opportunities, as we see Fantinetti, the new driver, colliding. Yeah, let's have some fun today.
I would definitely have to agree with that, as we actually saw during practice. I think he actually came out of one of the Lesmos, but definitely a greasy track. You have to be careful on the power here. It is a power circuit, but degradation on the tires and definitely grip will definitely fall away if you get off the black stuff and onto the green stuff, as we see Cashnet, our current championship leader here, with him winning the last Grand Prix here in Brno, in the GT3 Championship, as Husa behind him in the Nissan just gets out of the way. A grid rundown for you here. We have Ibrich in the Ferrari, not Hairy Buddha, followed by Cashnet, then Fanati in the Renault. Obviously you saw his spin just a couple of moments ago. Husa 71 in that beautiful Nissan. Mayo in obviously his hometown of the Ferrari. Phoenix there in the BMW, just coming around at Parabolica. Then we have Ferrelli Jr., obviously the second Audi driver, alongside Cashnet. We have Flyboy or Fleaboy in the other BMW. Then we have the first times being set up. I'll keep going down the grid. We have Matt in the Lamborghini doing very well. Matt did in Brno. We have Pollux in the Renault, who was a non-finisher last week. Then we have FSU, who's a new driver to the league. Not a new driver to the league, but a new driver to our league, in the Porsche, replacing Allo Champs, and I believe also my man alongside me, Hio. Then we have F7C Chef, who's obviously also replacing those two. Flip in the Nissan, and Vector, obviously our host here today. So yes, Hio, do you reckon those two Porsche boys will be doing good around here? They look very competitive in practice.
Yeah, I have to say, in practice they quite surprised me actually with the speed they got. The Porsche is a nice car. Actually, it's quite sad that Allo Champs is not here today. He has some European competition going on in real life, not racing, but Yeah, he said he is very competitive in the Porsche, that's all I know, and these two seem also to be quite competitive today.
I'm definitely agreeing with you there as we see Cashnet now coming across the line. What can he do? He improves a big gap there just behind his teammate of Ferrelli, I believe. So the two Audis looking very, very quick around here. I have to mention that the fuel on board is very low. We should see higher fuel in the race. I think around about 120 litres of fuel. One of you can correct me on that. But yeah, we also see Flip Flip go very fast there in the Nissan, showing the true pace. Only 50,000 of seconds away from Ferrelli. Still the man to set the fastest time here of a 1:47.4. But everyone seems to... Ooh, I think that was Cashnet off, I believe. But yeah, as I mentioned before, definitely a very greasy track. Not the best of grip through most of these high-speed corners, like the Lesmos, like Parabolica, and definitely through Ascari. You have to be very patient through that quick left-right chicane on the power, and definitely on the turn-in and exit. Do you reckon we might see some crashes, maybe in the race or maybe later on in qualifying here?
I mean, the difficulty with Monza is always finding the right balance with the setup. Obviously, temptation is to run with very little wing or no wing at all, so you've got the speed down the straights, but then makes the car very tricky through some of the tighter stuff. So yeah, it's going to be places like Ascari and through the Lesmos, when the car's running wide. You're going to see some action through there for sure.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that as we see Ferrelli come into the pits there. Also, FSU, I'm focusing on... sorry, FFSU, that's a difficult one to say, coming here through the Porsche, as I think Flip Flip had a bit of an excursion on the track there, but we see him now coming across the line. No, that's the Formula 1 across the line then. It's a bit further down here in the GT3 class, and he comes across the line to improve by over a second there. He's 3 seconds down, now only 2.3, so doing a very good job. I should probably mention, as I can't find Victor's name, but there it is. During practice we saw, I don't know if the other boys saw it, as we actually saw him go wide there, but no, he was doing some practice starts, so maybe he's getting to some grips with the Lamborghini. Maybe it's not so good off the line, and maybe it's maybe not a very strong point for Vector, and maybe just trying to also... He could be doing some grip in the tyres during practice, but we never know. As we see the Cadillac, I believe that's Hussar, is it? No, Hussar hasn't set a time yet. As I believe this might be his first time. Looks like he has a little bit of a dinged up front end. So maybe he had some sort of collision. Only sets a 2-minute 1. I believe that was his out time. As I think that's Mayo coming out of the pit lane there, followed by one of the Porsches. And he's looking very good, the Ferrari, their hometown here, and looking very competitive. What speed should we see today, guys? And is there any variation in the speeds?
Very good question. I mean, if you're watching FFS heading down the back straight at the moment, he's getting up to 200, 220 kilometers an hour. We were talking about it before the race. We think the Ferraris are pretty slippery. They probably have amongst the highest top speeds in the field, possibly the Audis and Lamborghinis also pretty quick. But as ever, I think it comes down to the differences in the setups mainly. I think those who are going with the very low wing setups will be very quick down the straights, and those that don't have the low wing setups will be trying to make that up through the corners and through the twisty bits.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that. A very, once again, difficult track to get right. Looks easy on paper, but definitely corners like Parabolica, the Ascari chicane once again, and the Lesmos. Also, I found difficult the Curva Grande to not jump up on those very, very high curbs, especially if there is any rain. I don't believe there was forecasted any rain. But
it's kind of sorry to jump in, but it's the kind of place where you know, a very small mistake can turn into a pretty big accident pretty quickly. You know, you just take a little bit too much speed into Parabolica and you just slide off onto the marbles, and it becomes very, very difficult. Same with the two Lesmos. Again, it's narrow. There's not a lot of runoff. It only takes a small mistake to end up in a big accident and losing a lot of time.
Yeah, I'd definitely have to agree with that one. A lot of people think that it is just a bunch of straights with some medium to low speed corners, but I'd probably have to disagree with those, as we see Pirelli kick up a bit of marbles, sorry, not marbles there, a bit of gravel there onto the track, so there might be a little less grip there now. Running definitely very wide on the curbs there. I think that's Matt setting a faster time here. Now he's just stuck behind the Porsche, the number 77 Porsche. I think that's F7C, replacing, I believe, Allo Champs. As yeah, these Lamborghinis looking very good. Obviously, the Lamborghini hometown as well, as we see the Porsche run very wide there. Gets out of the way of Matt, and obviously Matt flashing his lights there respectively. And yeah, we should see some very fast times coming in. Only 14 minutes remaining, so we've still got some decent time left in the qualifying session. Fastest lap being a 1 minute 47.2, unlike Bruno, which was about I think it was a 1:57. I think that was our fastest time. Very close to 2 minutes, and I think that is one of the Porsches spinning around of F7 Chef. Yeah, he's come back into the pit lane now, so that's not helpful for us commentators. But yeah, that's definitely. I think he just got on the power too quickly there. I don't know if Heo or David can fill me in on that. But yeah, it looked like Vector's gone wide.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened with the Porsche. But worth a special shout out to F7C, who is stepping up from the academy for this race. And for those who don't know, the academy is the sort of school series that people do for one season to show that they can race consistently and sensibly and safely before they get a license to race in the main championships. So it's a big night for F7C. A chance for him to show what he can do in a main championship.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that one. A lot like going from GP2 to Formula 1. You got to prove yourself before you get the big bucks. As we see Vector there, he got over the curbs of the first Levsmo, and then that just kind of unsettled his lap and went wide on the second Lesmo on exit, kicking up some dirt. But yeah, he's looking quite heavy on fuel. 10 laps of fuel. I think it's about 0.7 litres of fuel, sorry, not laps. I was corrected about that. But yeah, no, Vector looks very strong today, sitting in a happy fourth. Very interesting to see that Cashnet actually improved on his time there to go in front of Ferrelli's also improved on his time as well. First driver to go into the 1:46.8 here in Monza, but Vector taking a very wide line Parabolica. Maybe just setting up for a lap there. Number 66 driver, you have to excuse me. It's about 5:30 in the morning here for me, so still very early in the morning. But no, this race, European time, taking place in England, UK time at I believe it's 8:30. So yes, the drivers are heading into the night time now in real life, but we're racing here at 4 o'clock in the arguably one of the best tracks in the world. For me, my favourite track. But yeah, we should see some overtaking in the race down into turn 1, and also down into to the Regners, sorry, the Degners, not Regners, the Degner ones as well. So yeah, very interesting to see the drivers try and push as hard as possible, as I believe that was Fanati in the Renault after his crash, setting on 1:47.5, just 7/10 behind Pirelli there, as he's got a bit eager on the power once again, and around he goes. Yeah.
No real surprises in the standings so far. We've got Pirelli with the fastest time on the Audi, Cash in it downforce behind in the other Audi. That's the way it's been not all season so far. So hopefully, looking down the standings, maybe Flip, Metro, maybe even Niebridge could get in amongst it and split those Audis.
Yeah, I'd definitely agree on that one. I didn't actually correct myself here. Allo Champs is actually leading the championship with Cashnet behind by, I think, at 16 points. But yes, that's a little bit of a correction with Pirelli down there in P3, just behind Cashnet by 2 points. So the two Audi drivers are looking maybe to lock out the championship, and maybe even to one of them to lock out the drivers' championship as well, not only the constructors. But no, everyone looks a little bit tame right now in Monza, with 9 minutes 40 remaining, and I think, yeah, that's the Renault coming back out again, and I think that's Matt also coming out of the pit lane as well. He didn't get in front of...
Cash in it, just heading through the Parabolica to set a lap, so if we can find 3/10, he'll be on pole.
Right,
here he goes.
Let's see what this Audi driver can do, running very low on fuel there, hitting up to 250 now, 255, 260 now, really moving it in that Audi. Looks like he's running a bit of high ring. I can get 270 in the Porsche. He's down into turn 1, braking at the 150 meter board. He's out of turn 1 now. Now heading into the Curva Grande, out the Curva Grande, now down into the next practical turn 1 once again, but no, I think it's turn 4 actually, sorry, not turn 3, as he comes through it now, taking not too much curb there, really tame on the throttle as well, and obviously he's using no assists, so he's going very well now through the Lesmos. As he exits out of the first Lesmo, not too much curb, so very good, didn't lose the rear end either. Breaking down for the second Lesmo now, he hasn't lost it either. No, he's kicked up a bit of dirt that might have invalidated his lap, I don't know, as he heads down the Curve del Segregalo. I don't know, I've never spoken Italian, but now into the Ascari chicane as he comes out of Sakari, not too much curb there as well, so very, very tame by Cashnet, maybe just trying for slow in, fast out, and that's usually the golden rule of racing. Now heading down to Parabolica, and let's see what he can do. He brakes quite late there and heading a little wide down into third gear, and his engine's really getting nice and hot as Ibridge sets a new lap. As what can Cashnet do coming across the line? Let's take a look here. What can he do? He comes across the line only 2/10 of a second behind. He's come back into the pit lane now, and he's heading out again. So that was very interesting. I think that's Flip heading out. No, it's not. Flip's on a lap, I believe. But what did we think? Ooh. Didn't lose it there. That was very lucky from the Nissan driver. What did we think about that lap, boys?
Yeah, good lap from Cashnet. Maybe a little bit ragged in places. He can definitely still find some time. I think he'll be frustrated that he's made a couple of little mistakes. He's got to find what, 2.5, 3/10. That's definitely doable. But it's a lot, but I think it's doable. But he's had to come back in, and he's back out again on cold tyres, so he's got to build everything back up again. Which should be frustrated with.
Yeah, I'd definitely have to agree with that one, as we see Vector there letting through Finati in the Renault there. The Renault looking very competitive today. Obviously they got their car fixed up, so it's not destroyed anymore. After the, I think it was about 21 minutes that Finati crashed into, out of Ascari and into the wall. No, everyone looking very good. Obviously, Finati's teammate, Pollock's doing very well in that Renault as well. Sitting happy in P14 with a 1:49. We've got the BMW, I think that might be Phoenix. Yeah, it is BMW, just sitting behind Pollock's there. And he looks like he's maybe had a little bit of a problem, running very heavy on fuel for the final 5 minutes. I think this is where we'll start to see some very, very quick laps start to come in, so we may see people like Mayo and things like that, and the Ferrari start to go a bit quicker. And definitely, as I believe that was Pirelli stopped on the track, excuse me again, I think he was just letting Mayo through, also maybe doing another practice start like Vector was doing, as yeah, everything looks pretty good looking down the leaderboards for right now. Obviously Pete still pretty far down there in 15th, yeah, with 150, so he hasn't gotten to the 140s just yet. I tell you what, with 4 minutes remaining, I'd be heading out about now to go and try and set my fast lap, as I believe that Cashnet pushing very hard on the exit of 3 there, as he comes through the Lesmos once again, taking a bit of grass there and a bit more curb as well. It seems like everyone's kicking up a bit of dirt there. As we see Finatelli, I totally forgot how to say that name, but he's coming out in the Renault now. As we see Cashnet come down into the Ascari corner. What can he do? He's very fast through there, it looks like. Didn't look like he was using too much of the brake pedal, but we are borrowing a lot of his right foot. As he heads now down to Parabolica behind his teammate, maybe getting a little bit of a slipstream as well. Also maybe a little bit of tow. This will be the question, can he find 2/10 today? What can he do? Exiting out of Parabolica, down the straight he goes. What can the number 4 driver of Cashnet do as he heads down towards turn 1? What can he do? He comes across the line, and I don't believe he's improved. As we see one of the Ferraris out, and maybe he's going for another lap. I'd probably have to agree with that one. Yes, I can. So as we take a look back at the highlights from qualifying right now, what are the drivers? What has been happening to the drivers? More like it. What I should be saying. But definitely we'll take a look at some of the highlights, and that may be a highlight a little bit further on in the Grand Prix, but we'll take a look at some of the highlights. What are the drivers going to be showing for us today? As the lights get ready to go, we rev up the engines. 5 red lights, lights out, and away we go. And it looks like Cashnet got a bit of a fast start there, as the Nissan of Flip Flip looked to get a bit of a difficult start there, and the spray is being kicked up from these Pirelli wet weather tyres, as it looks like Pirelli's been able to make the overtake on the Nissan of Flip Flip. As now Vector's gone straight up the inside of Pirelli there through turn 1, and it looks like one of the BMWs is round in the background, as one of the Ferraris looks like to maybe have the advantage on the Audi of Cashnet. He looks for the move, he hasn't quite got it done yet, and Cashnet looks like the man to get the most out of this. And there's a move for the lead. It's Vector's round, and he's straight over that curve. He's got to wait for everyone to pass before he can enter back onto the track. Pollock's now in P5, is getting under attack from Matt, or is that, I think that's Flip Flip now. As Flip Flip gets down into P4 there with the Nissan, he's going to have the highest speed from that Renault. It actually looks like the Renault's pulled ahead, so maybe he's running with a bit more downforce as Matt heads right down the inside, and it looks like maybe he's got, yes, he does have the overtake done on Pollock's there. A lot of spray being kicked up by these tyres today. Flip Flip's round, and it looks like he has a bit of damage. Oh yes, Allo Chance's got a hefty amount of damage to the front end of that Porsche. Cashnet is just running away with now 10 seconds away from Allo Chance. So the two drivers of Pirelli and Ibridge maybe start to close into Allo Champs and Cashnet quite quickly as Allo Champs looks to be closing into Cashnet by about a tenth a lap or so. Pirelli still looks to be the man to want this second place very well. It's a little bit wide. The rear tyres starting to give up to you. No, Allo Champs is in the pits. Can he get them moved down into turn 10 on Lamborghini? A bit far back there. 310, so I wouldn't be going for the move, but it looks like the fresh rubber's giving him the opportunity. He heads up the inside. He's on the rear left. And Vector's going to have to give him room here as they head up to turn 11. And, he's outbroke himself a little bit there. Vector might... That was amazing. Wobble around a bit and get it stable as that looks like iBridge is round, and Allo Champs is through. That is deferential for iBridge. I think he just got a bit too early on the power there, and that was really unfortunate from iBridge here on lap 30. The number 4 driver has held it all the way throughout the whole Grand Prix. He goes over that infamous puddle there. He's going to be the man to win the Grand Prix today. Well done to Cashnet. 33 laps on the wet compounded tyres. They'd be practically slick now after burning out that rubber. Like we said, it was jelly. Now it's probably porridge, very hot, and probably just got him just right at the temperature. He comes across the line to finish P2, and our man Allo Champs, he comes across the line. The Swede does well to finish in P3. So as we're back now at the end of qualifying here at Monza, has Matt, the other Lamborghini driver, improved on his time there, but you may have seen Vector 666 spinning out there into the Ascari chicane, and I believe that was under braking, so maybe a bit of a brake bias problem there for the Lamborghini driver. And as my co-commentator just said, David just said, are they going to be able to fix that by the race? And I hope they are able to, but we'll never know, really. But as we take a look down the board, Pirelli, the Audi driver, obviously the British boy, doing a very, very good job here in qualifying to be able to set her up on pole with a 146.8, beating everyone else by at least 2/10 to the closest person there of Cashnet, his teammate, and the other Audi, both of them starting on the front row of the grid as qualifying's now over. As trying to remember the top 10, there we are, as we see Flip there, the young German as well, also in P3, Fanati as well in P4, Vector in P5 doing well, the young Dutchman, to get up there in P5 with a 147.6. His teammate Matt did improve from 8th place to go 6th. iBridge in the Ferrari for his home race here, now into 7th. Also, I probably should mention Matt's home race as well here in Italy, with F7C, the new Porsche driver, obviously coming down here in 8th with 148. First drivers in the 148s. As now Husa in P9 with a 148.8. Mayo, the other Italian driver, in the Ferrari there in P10. Pollux, the British man, in the Renault there in P11, and I think P12. P12 was, I'll keep going down the grid as we get ready for 5 red lights. FSU in the other Porsche, as my screening's gone all bad. Yeah, FSU in the other Porsche. Phoenix in the BMW, I think that is a Fleaboy in the other BMW, and Pete there rounding out our grid, the 15th. And we see a little bit of interesting car going through the wall, but that's right, I don't think that'll affect anyone. But boys, what do we think about this start? Who do you reckon will be the man to get the traction and the grip off the start?
You've got to fancy the two Audis again. They've always been the class of the field when I've been watching the GT3 races this season, and they're not the most difficult cars to get off the line either. So you'd expect those two to be still in front when they get down to turn 1. I think Flip's got a job getting the Nissan off the line, and then I think all bets are off after that. Turn 1 at Monza is notorious, especially in sim racing, for the sort of chaos that ensues down there. So I think it's all about crossing your fingers and hoping everyone gets through the first couple of laps clean now to have a good race.
And I should probably mention about now, looking at the fuel loads for the drivers today, looks like the two Audi drivers are going about, Vector going very short on his fuel there. So maybe he's looking for a switch on tyres, which is the slowest strategy. The one stop is the fastest strategy. F7C. Yeah, I'm thinking hundreds should be in the...
120.
Yeah, 90 for the Porsche driver, 130 there for Husa, 120 for Mayo, Pollux with 130. So it's practically all in the fuel loads here today as we get ready for 5 red lights. The Audi drivers will get ready to go as they rev their engines, getting ready for the start of the Monza Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go. Looks like Cashnet got the good start there as they all fumble down to the Rettifilio. What can everyone do? Hopefully there's no incidents. Pirelli look like to get the slow start there. Cashnet up into P1 now. They head side by side. Everyone being very tame. Looked like one of the Lamborghinis went up the inside there. And Cashnet, the man to get out there, as it looks like maybe there was a little bit of an incident. No, Flip and Vector run side by side, now nearly 3 wide down the Curve Grande, down now into the Regina. I don't know how to say that, but I'm just going to wing it. Looks like everyone being very tame there into turn 1. The Renault driver kicking up a lot of dirt there, but Flip, I'm shocked. Oh, big dive somewhere down the field. Looked like Matt got there through very well. Looks like the two Ferraris also losing out there. Pollux just sitting behind the rear end of that Ferrari of iBridge. But as we move back up the board, Cashnet doing very well, and it looks like one of the Renaults went very wide. They're going to go side by side now. Vector up into P3 now onto the podium, looking very, very good there off the start from 5th to 3rd. Well done to Vector and the Lamborghini. Now the Nissan and Fenati go side by side, and Fenati's been pushed out there in the Renault. Now what can the Nissan of Flip do as they head down now to Parabolica? 2 seconds to the leader on lap 1 here, and it looks like everyone's got through the first lap quite tamely. Maybe Phoenix is having a bit of a problem. Phoenix, I think, was round, or is that Husa? No, Husa is round at Ascari. Looks like a bit of contact at the rear end there, but as we see everyone now come through into Parabolic and out to the to Rettifilio, obviously the first corner once again here on lap 1 of 43. A long old Grand Prix here, but the laps will jump by very quickly. Looks like someone's got a good slipstream of Pollux. Maybe, no, he's got no slipstream whatsoever. 6 seconds to the leader already. iBridge looks like maybe to have a look down the inside of Matt there. Matt defending very well on those Pirelli P0s. F7C got a very good start from, I think he went from 11th to 6th, so amazing start from the Porsche there. As Fenati also, a bit of an interesting start from him as well in the Renault. Flip also doing a shocking job there, going from P3 now down to P4. Looks like he didn't get the traction off the start. But Vector, wow, that was an amazing start by the Lamborghini driver, and obviously, once again, the two Audis lead it very well. 6/10 already from Cashnet to Ferrelli, so Cashnet got the very good traction at the start as he had a little bit wide there. Got very good traction, but I'm having things come up all over my screen. As I keep thinking that Allo Chance is still in his Porsche. He's not, unfortunately, as he's today away today. But everyone looks like, ooh, as I think that's Matt and Flip had the look. Matt went defensive. Matt didn't get the traction down too well there, and I think that's a collision. Yes, it is, and I think that was one of the Porsches there of F7 making contact with, I'm not sure who that was. I think it was one of the Renaults. May have been, yeah, Fanity. So that's That's really not good now. He's all the way down the board there. A little bit of a lock-up from the Lamborghini just in the front ground here. And now he looks under attack by Flyboy there. Sitting happy in the slipstream. That BMW looking very good, but it looks like everyone's quite tame as that Porsche went to the inside of the track. Obviously might have had a bit of damage as well. Everyone's used up their first initial 3 laps of fuel, as it looks like iBridge is going to go down the inside. Maybe not. He backs out of it, lets the Lamborghini have the position back. iBridge not being the man to grab the position down into the Rettifilio here on lap 3 on the Lamborghini of Matt. Matt's moved up the board very quickly now, but 7 seconds to the leader, which is not amazing. I think there's a bit of a gap growing there. And could start to grow a bit more, but they look like to be closing in into the Nissan quite quickly there, as this midfield looks very, very, very aggressive, as it looks like iBridge still can't get the position on Matt, as we once again take a look at iBridge's on board here. This is what the driver will be seeing, not necessarily what they'll be seeing because they're in the cockpit, but Matt does run a little bit wide there. This might give iBridge the opportunity to get past. We're going to go back to the outside camera. They're going to head side by side down into the Ascari chicane. What can they do? iBridge heads in front of Matt. Matt was the smart man to go off the throttle there. You can see that he lifted off a little bit into the braking zone and didn't give too much of a fight. Maybe just let iBridge go through, sit behind him, save a bit of fuel, and see if you can push a little bit faster. As they all head down now to Parabolica. So, boys, what do we think of that start? That was absolutely hectic.
yeah, take a breath, Ken. That was impressive stuff. Yeah, it was a good start. I think, as expected, the Audis got away well, but perhaps not as expected. It was a very clean start from everybody, and it was only on lap 2 when we saw the first signs of contact.
I'm going to have to interrupt you there as we see 3 wide. Sorry to interrupt you there, David, but we see 3 wide momentarily there, and iBridge looks like to have defended his position there, as the Lamborghini looking very, not very strong here. I was about to say very strong, but it looks like that Porsche is starting to eat him up a little bit. That V6 Porsche against the V10 Ferrari power, Lamborghini power here, and it looks like 3 constructors all in the matter of about a second. You could throw a blanket over the top of them, and now's the question is, can iBridge start to pull out that gap like he did in Bruno in the wet conditions, obviously in the dry here today, so a bit easier for the driver, but the track will start to get some degradation very quickly and maybe not group in as well as everyone was hoping. But David, I'll pass it back on to you. Sorry to interrupt you there. Continue what you were saying.
Yeah, no, I mean that sums up well. It's we're already starting to see some good battles on the track. Not the least this one we're watching right now with the Ferrari, the Lamborghini, and the Porsche. But as expected, we've got those 2 Audis just driving away from the rest of the field at the moment. They're now 4 seconds ahead of Vectro, and we're only on lap 4. And it's going to take a mistake or an incident or some bad luck to stop these guys running away with it today.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that. It's going to take some time, and it looks like Vectro taking a very interesting line out of Parabolica there, quite wide over the white painted lines there, as Vector still looking pretty tame to the Nissan behind him of Flip Flip. No, Flip Flip's going to go to the outside. Sorry, the inside, not the outside. Flip Flip maybe looks for an inside move. No, he doesn't. Vector cuts him off very well, slows her down, puts her down into first there to block off any attack from Flip Flip. Now heading into the Curva Grande, and it looks like Flip Flip might have the opportunity to maybe make a little bit of a dive. I think it might be the wrong move. But Flip Flip just looks all over the rear end of Vector there, which is just absolutely amazing. As I'll actually put the onboard of Flip Flip there, so you can actually see how close he is there. Really, really close. About 2/10 separate them, which is not exactly very much on track, but in the timing it's quite a lot. But it just looks like to maybe getting a little bit of dirty air there, as it looks like Vector's kicked up a little bit of dirt there, so Will this now give Flip Flip the opportunity to get past? I don't think he was close enough to maybe make a little bit of a move. But yeah, we'll move down further down the board and take a look at Matt. Matt looks like to maybe made a little bit of a gap to the Porsche behind him, about a second and then 2 seconds to Ibrich. So like I predicted, Ibrich was able to pull out a gap there to be able to start to extend a gap and maybe start to catch up to Flip Flip and Vector for maybe a surprise P3 there, as it looks like in the background the Cadillac of Pete and FSU went side by side out of Ascari there, as I'm getting a sister all wrong. But they head into Parabolica here, and now out of Parabolica, they're looking very good. That Cadillac, thought it would be quite slow, but it's bringing a challenge to FS.
Gone off at someone.
Ooh, that's very interesting.
He's missed his braking point, gone straight up down the access road.
And
he's going to have to let Flip come through.
Yeah. Yeah. That's gonna cost Vectro. I'm sorry I missed out on that.
He's had a few instances this season, Vector, where he's quick. He's got good pace, but he does make mistakes, and he's flashing his lights at Flip Flip as if he maybe got a tap or something. But I just saw him go straight on someone.
Yeah, I wasn't able to catch that one, so I can't give too much of an input on that one. I'm a bit of a third party here, but it looks like Vectro is the faster of the two there, and it looks like that Nissan will have something to definitely fight for. Vectro looking a little bit more heavy on fuel than Flip Flip. Yes, he definitely is. Flip Flip trying to lose the slipstream here, and trying to get out of some sort of gap onto Vectro there. But now the question, Vectro's gone wide. Oh, really wide, but he hasn't lost at least too much time. That was an absolute save and a half. I'm going to have to save this replay and see what happened here on lap 6 of the Grand Prix. Obviously, we're already through lap 6. So now only at least a decent amount of laps remaining. Around about 36 laps remaining here in the Monza Grand Prix. But now Flip Flip has been able to extend at least a 1 second gap on Vectro here. So that's really interesting.
Yeah,
that might come into the hands.
I would have thought that Vector would have got a slowdown for that, because he went very wide and he didn't slow down very much, so he must have got a slowdown penalty, which probably explains why Flip Flip's now pulled a second and a half on him. But I'm sure he'll come back.
Yeah, Matt, his teammate as well, going wide there, or not necessarily wide, but what's it called? Going a little bit deep into the corner there, and going over the curbing a little bit. But no, everyone looks still quite tame. The F7C car of the Porsche coming up there onto the rear of Matt, about 2 seconds from each other. But there's still a lot of the laps of the Grand Prix to come through, and it seems like we maybe lost one driver. Out of 15, I can't see anyone who's quit. I think no, Pollux is still in here.
We've lost Phoenix. He was disconnected, unfortunately. And we've got a good little gaggle going on down at P10. The battle for P10, 11 and 12. There's a little battle going on. Some good racing. A bit further down the order.
Yeah, I see that one. Wow, all 4 of them in a little gaggle here, with Pete just sitting at the back waiting for an opportunity. Looks like FSS might go for the dive. He does on the young Mayo driver, the Italian, and they make a little bit of contact there, and I don't think that Mayo saw him in the mirrors, or maybe just didn't expect him to be here. Pete might have the opportunity now to head up the inside or even outside of FSS. I can't say this name to save my life. But no, it looks like Mayo maybe gave him a little bit of a left-right there, and maybe.
Just seen that again on the stream, and yeah, it's for me it's a racing incident. But I think Mayo, he's got to be aware that he's there. He's got to give him room, and if that's anyone's fault, it's Mayo's.
They're now going to go side by side into the Retafilio. What's going to go on here? Oh, there's a little bit of contact on the front end. Yeah, he does have it done, but will Pete now get the traction? Final corner, I think he made contact with the rear of Mayo's car, but Mayo loses a position to FFS in the Porsche, obviously teammate to F7, who made a very good start as well. Another about 6 seconds. Oh no, FFS maybe he let the two through there, or I think that might have been under braking though. I think that was a problem for him. Maybe getting the brakes a bit too hot. Yeah, I'm thinking that as well. Yeah, that's definitely going to cost him now. And Mayo, overall things now, he was probably on his computer there, typing up a steward's report. But no, it looks like he's gone Control Alt Delete and said, "Don't worry, I've got the position back. It hasn't cost me too much time." But now Pollock still extending a pretty good gap, around about nearly 2 seconds there. As it looks like Pete and FSS having a little bit of a tussle now. No, they're not. Probably should move down the board a bit, take a look what's going down. Flyboy, the BMW, still looking relatively okay there with Hussa. Oh, never mind, I commentated, cursed him there. I said everything was okay, and he's run wide. As now Hussa is going to start extending a gap there, but Ibridge has got some sort of, oh no, never mind, that was just the right time to flip onto the two, and Ibridge has rear-ended Vectro there, who looks like to made a bit of contact, and is that big damage to maybe some sort of suspension? I don't know. If we take a look inside the inside of his car, we'll see if he's got any turning. Obviously he'll have turning now, but has he got any turning in a straight line, which will maybe tell us an inner tie rod or a steering rod has been broken, and I don't believe there was, as Pete still coming up for some reason. That we've got a problem here. No, Mayo seems alright. F7 still catching up to Matt there, as looks like he's going quite well, but Ibridge went right to the rear end of Vectro there. So yeah, I don't know whether that damage is from the contact that you were talking about before, or it's from some sort of third party, because maybe Flip has, I don't know, he's got a sizable lead now, about 5 seconds to Vectro, so that damage is definitely hindering Vectro quite a lot.
Yeah, it's quite strange. Vectro, since he ran wide, he's slowed down quite a bit, and he seemed to be very, very, very slow going into turn one, which I think is what caught Ibridge out, and he missed his braking point, almost played into the back of him. So yeah, quite a strange one. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Vectro over the next few laps, and whether he's just lost his confidence a bit, lost his rhythm a little bit. We'll see. Interestingly, Cash in it now has a couple of seconds over Pirelli, so I think those two will just be kind of going at it until the pit stops now.
Yeah, I'd definitely have to agree with that one. Cashnet is starting to improve. Looks very quick in race pace, but maybe not too quick. Excuse me once again. Maybe not too quick in qualifying pace. But no, I'm still surprised that Flip's been able to get his P3 back after a very poor start. Lap 10 now, so we've only got 33 laps remaining. Still quite a sizable amount of time till the end of the Grand Prix. A lot of laps to be fighting for here, and I presume that some drivers will start to be making a pit stop. I don't think this early. I'm thinking around about lap 20 or so will be about the halfway mark to start to make a pit stop. But Ibridge is actually, I believe he's moved up in front of Matt as well. Not sure. But it looks like he might have a little bit of damage to his car as well.
The pit strategies will be interesting. We know that we're not sure if it's possible for anyone to go no stopping today, but we know there's definitely a few cars that don't have enough fuel to go the distance, so there's a few who are definitely stopping. And it'll be interesting, the conditions, the track isn't very hot, the air temperature's not very hot, so whether it's possible to go long in the first stint, and then maybe go for the soft compound for a second stint and be a little bit quicker but have higher tyre wear. That could come into play a bit later on. And who knows, on the hard compound you might even see a couple of guys try and go the whole distance without stopping.
Yes, that is very interesting, and actually, I forgot to mention this. Pete actually was able to get in front of Mayo, so maybe Mayo is struggling a little bit with his Ferrari now, as the Cadillac was able to get through very easily through there. And I wasn't able to catch that battle, but no, Pete started to pull out a decent-sized gap there, but it looks like the Ferrari has actually got the pawn in straight line speed. And I did have a bit of a look up the inside, Mayo did there. But now the question is, can Mayo, I believe he started, I think it was P9 maybe he started. So he's only lost really one position, but he is on the rear end of Pete. And Pete is a sizably quick driver. I think they might go side by side now into the practically turn 1 once again. It's practically just a repeat with higher curves. As they head out now into the first Lesmos. The question is, Mayo's got to stick behind here now and be able to stay behind Pete, because this is not an overtaking opportunity, definitely, because you'll just slow your car up on the straights. So if I was Mayo, I'd be waiting until the start-finish line to start to make my move, and that's where I'll lose the most time, or even into Parabolica and maybe see if I can push Pete out wide. That's the question that I'd be trying to answer as quickly as possible, but looking down the field, doesn't look like anyone's got too much of a fight. 8 seconds to the closest car from Flip, which looks very interesting for the cars around Matt and definitely around Flip. But Ibridge looks all right there in his Ferrari as well. He's a silent achiever there in P5, and it doesn't look like maybe Husser's having a little bit of a battle with something, no. But yeah, Mayo's starting to lose out a little bit of traction on Pete in front of him, so that's very interesting. We haven't spoken to Hio too much, so Hio, I'm not sure if you have your mic on, but what do you think about the race so far?
Sorry, my mic is on now. It seems we have some problems in the stream actually, so someone complained about it. I'm trying to solve that. If you have any issues with the stream, just say so, and I will try to improve the quality. And about the race, it's quite a fun race to watch actually. Yeah, like this. It's close-up racing, bit of contact here, but it's really nice. I think this track really offers a lot of opportunities to overtake after long straights into the corners, and it's quite nice.
Ooh, definitely, as you were exactly right. Now Pete's going to try and go up the inside of Mayo there. This is going to give the opportunity now to FFSU in the Porsche there, as he's going to try and get the run on Pete. Now he does get the run. Are they going to go 3 wide into Ascari? They definitely are. No, it looks like maybe Mayo's got the position there back on Pete, and it looks like that Porsche. That was amazing to get 2 cars in one corner, or in a sequence of corners really. That was absolutely amazing by the Porsche driver. But what can everyone do now, is it looks like they might go 2 wide, the Ferrari and Pete. They're definitely in a little bit of a gaggle of cars now as they all head through Parabolica. Pete's got the position back from Mayo. Mayo down to P11. They go around Parabolica. What can Pete do now? He's on the inside line. He'll have the better traction out of the corner. Not too many marbles on the inside of the track there. Looks like the Ferrari going to get involved as well, and that Nissan in the rear of Husser may be trying to go for a little bit of position here. I should probably switch to Mayo's camera now, and they're going to head 3 wide into the Retta Filio. What can they do? Looks like Husser heads to the inside. It's very close. No, that was Pete heading to the inside. Husser's made position on the 2 of Mayo and Pete. Pete down now to P12 from P9. That is just absolutely amazing, especially by FFS.
Fantastic stuff. That's a clip for the ages from FFS. He's got a good run coming out of the second Lesmo, and then takes 2 of them on the brakes into Ascari. Fantastic stuff. And you know, they all deserve credit for keeping it together, not coming together and making any mistakes. Great stuff, and now FFS is just driving away from him. Fantastic, and on his debut.
Oh, definitely. And now Mayo's definitely got some trouble as the Nissan and Pete sit right on his rear end through the Lesmos there. And no, one of the Nissans of Husser's gone wide there. That's going to give the opportunity to Pete now to try and send it up the inside once again into a sky. Looks like the Nissan hasn't lost too much time to Pete there. No, Pete hasn't lost too much time to the Nissan, and the Nissan's lost an absolute country mile of time to Mayo there, who sits in P10. Pete, the big loser out of that one, from P9 down to P12. That's a 4-position loss, and that is just absolutely detrimental. As David said, what an amazing overtake from FFS. They're definitely showing that the academy enrollment here in GAVRA Racing is definitely very helpful for the drivers. Teaches them discipline, teaches them the right time to overtake, and that was definitely the first amazing overtake I've seen in this championship so far here in Monza. Always offers very good racing here on lap 14 in Nazionale Monza. David, once again, what do you think about that overtake?
I'm sitting here with a big smile on my face because it was just fantastic, and it was brave. One of the other guys could easily have not known he was coming and taken him out, but sometimes you have to just be opportunistic and make the most of the chances that come your way, and he did that, and he's driving away now, so he's done fantastically well. It's good to see, you know, we're kind of at the back of the grid here, but we're still getting some good racing all the way down the grid. And a shout out to KPH Crazy in the comments, who's also enjoying that overtake.
Yeah, definitely. I'll let you know on a little secret. My YouTube channel is actually KPH Crazy, so so that's a little bit contradicting. So I'll take the comment. Thank you. But no, I should probably fill everyone in on that. By the way, my YouTube channel is KPH Crazy. A little bit of a link in there. But no, that's a little bit of a... I probably should have told you that before. But no, that's a fault on my end. But no, definitely the Porsche looking very good now, as they still, all of them, still right down the field. There's been battles consistently from lap 1. There's just been so much enthusiasm by every driver, and just inside, outside, roundabout, upside down, everyone able to overtake at the craziest of corners. And the only corner I haven't seen of overtake was here in Parabolica, I believe. So yeah, maybe Parabolica, the corner that everyone wants to get right to get a good run down to the Rettifilio, and it's definitely very interesting.
Yeah, we did see. Was it Pete taking Ipswich Mayo?
Yeah, it was Pete taking Mayo. One of the Ferraris is Husser. Interesting to see a position taken from the Nissan driver. Husser doesn't catch me as maybe the fastest driver in this league, but he's definitely got past Mayo, he's a strong midfield rudder, and Husser's definitely just got past him. So it looks like skill from the Nissan driver definitely proving himself there, as still once again Pete, the big loser there. Yeah, I don't think I've seen anyone catch those curves through those corners. They're very deadly, those curves, so if you jump over them, then they're definitely very dangerous to hop over, as it looks like Mayo once again just getting gobbled up. And I think he's starting to get a little bit hot under the helmet, as Pete ran wide a little bit there. Didn't get the best of traction down at the best of times, as yeah, Pete's now within about 0.6 of a second to Mayo, so that's close enough to get a good amount of slipstream, and maybe we might see a late overtake from Pete just before the pit stops. Around about 5 laps until we might be seeing some pit stops. There's a little bit of lock-up from Pollux. We haven't actually spoken too much about Pollux. There he is in the Renault. Big gap to F7, who's 5 seconds away from him and 8 seconds behind him. is the next Porsche driver, is Mayo and Pete. I'm still getting things about them to tell me that there's a little bit of battle going on. Pete always taking a really, really wide line around Parabolica there. The Nissan goes to the inside. They're following each other like a little train. Chugga, chugga, choo-choo is what Mayo's saying as they all head down into the Retafilio, up into maxing out 6th gear at 278. I think I clocked his fastest time at, and he's struggling to get the car slowed down there. Big angle on the camber as it looks like Pete maybe a little bit of contact into the rear of Mayo there. Mayo's got the run on Husa. Can Mayo maybe do an overtake through the Curve Grande? No, he's not able to just yet. He might have a little bit of a dive down into, as I keep saying, the new turn 1. Not actually the new turn 1, I think it's about turn 3 or 4 even, as yeah, looks like Husa went a little deep into that corner as well, didn't get the best of traction. That Ferrari's just looking beautiful on exit of the corners here, and it's just so amazing just to see the drivers so close, so competitive, and definitely Pete is definitely competitive. I'm going to use definitely so many definitely times, but no, it looks like Husa, Pete and Mayo just can't all be split apart, as it looks like FFS after making that overtake has got the run, and it's now 6 seconds. I think Pete and Husa and Mayo went side by side momentarily there, and Husa still defending his position. The number 35 driver is I think will run on board it for a bit here to take a look on what Mayo is seeing. This is a gap to Husa just in front of Mayo, so Mayo hasn't got the best of runs down to Parabolica. You can see as it looks like, I think that's actually Pete on the inside. No, it's not. Pete's lost out a little bit. What can Mayo do now? And if I was Mayo in this part of the Grand Prix, I'd be watching out for where my opponents are making mistakes, where they're slow, where they're braking early at, and where they're braking late at, and where I might be able to make a little bit of an overtake. But that Ferrari's just going so quick, and it looks like maybe even the BMW's going to start to get involved. Do you reckon that BMW's going to start to get involved, David?
Yeah, he's been catching slowly but surely, and the more these guys kind of go at it, the more likely he is to catch up to them. But he's still got 4 or 5 seconds before he gets there. It's tricky for Mayo being in the middle of those 3 cars. He's almost catching up to them at the wrong time on the way down to Ascari. If he's a little bit more clever, perhaps he can just hold back a little bit more and just get a good run coming out of Parabolica and try to move down into turn 1, because that's definitely the most likely place to make an overtake.
Well, as we've seen today, overtakes are coming everywhere on the track. So not only into turn 1, but we did see that amazing one down to Ascari once again by the Porsche driver, and I'll definitely be saving this replay of a race, because that was just an absolute amazing overtake. But no, we actually haven't looked up further up the board a bit to see what's going on in the lead on lap 18. Cashnet now pulling still a 2-second gap from Ferrelli to Cashnet. Cashnet looking very low on the fuel there, so maybe he is looking to maybe make a pit stop here. Around 68.7 litres. His teammate saved a bit more, but flip. Vector still. Ooh, Vector. Yeah, Vector did go lower on the fuel, didn't he? So yeah, Vector definitely trying to push. Still got that damage on the car, so I guess he's learnt to drive with it now. Ibrich still quite heavy on fuel as well with 73 litres left. Matt looking very good still in his Lamborghini. F7C in the Porsche looking very good, really low on fuel as well, 42 litres left of fuel, 41.8, so he's using quite a lot. And I definitely think that Porsche will be making a pit stop here today. And still we move back to Mayo now, with Pete still right on his on that rear diffuser of the Ferrari, still quite a hot engine. That Cadillac's actually managing its engine temperature very, very well. So I wouldn't want to be getting hot under the helmet at this stage of the Grand Prix, but yeah, everyone looks still quite tame, as I've said. No one making very many collisions. I think the only one, excuse me, I've seen has been with Matt and not Matt, sorry, Vector and Ibrich, when Vector went into the rear end of iBridge, but no, that's Pete running wide again. We've seen drivers do that out of the last Lesmo there, and definitely drivers starting to push the limits now of their cars and seeing what they can do. I should mention as well, Pete very low on fuel, so do you reckon he'll be making a pit stop there, David?
Yeah, I think he'll have to. It's interesting with the fuel, so we've got 22, 23 laps left, and you're probably looking at 3, maybe slightly more than 3 litres of fuel per lap. So some of the guys who have got, 70 or more, so if you go down the field, guys like Pollux, Mail, possibly even Flayboy, if they're careful and if they do a little bit of fuel saving, they might be able to get to the end, assuming that the tyres hold out. But I think guys like, the two Audis are on the borderline, flip the same. But in this phase of the race, when there isn't a lot of close battling at the front, there's an option for some of those guys to do a little bit of fuel saving, take it easy, save the tyres, and see if they can stretch out to the end.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with. I'm sorry, I had to jump the camera a bit there because I saw iBridge and Vector battling up the front a little bit here. So once again, this battle from the Ferrari and the Lamborghini, a long-lasting battle of the two Italian teams, has been absolutely amazing so far. So yeah, it's definitely been very interesting so far as we move back down to Husa. Once again, and yeah, it looks like everyone's still staying quite tame. Yeah, so we'll still ride with iBridge and Vector here with Matt closing in, not very quickly, but at a steady pace. So yeah, it's still looking quite good.
Yeah, it's good to see these guys sort of going for dozens of laps, running close together and just keeping it clean, keeping it respectful. I think that's why most of us end up joining leagues like GAVRA, because you want to have close competitive racing without some of the nastiness and the silliness that goes on in some of the open lobbies. So it's nice to see that, if you come to GAVRA Racing, sign up and join, you're going to get some good clean racing with some people who actually are here to take it seriously enough.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that one. People do take it very seriously around here, and if you sign up now, we'll throw in a free Stone Dine pant. No, I'm joking. But no, those late night advertisements are definitely very funny to listen to. But no, getting back to the Monza Grand Prix here, we went off topic a little bit there as Vector, I always get those two confused, run wide once again in the Lamborghini. This might give iBridge a opportunity to overtake here now. So that's definitely the option now for iBridge to start to close up. Start to make a little bit of a little bit more traction and a little bit more speed maybe out of this car. As I'm gonna flick back down to Husa now, who ran a little bit wide through the middle Lesmo there. Everyone's actually been able to catch up once again. So these guys, they're from the Porsche all the way to the maybe even the BMW. They just can't be split apart. They're all 5 of them are getting quite close into the battles, and this is definitely going to open it up for Flyboy now. And yeah, it's very interesting as Mayo's once again taking a very interesting line into Ascari as we actually take a look at Fanati now, who's on lap 20, so he's about a lap behind, and he's been lapped now by the two. Oh, we should probably go back to that. And I totally forgot about those two battle, but now they come through the Curva Grande. What can iBridge do now? Very, very close on the rear end of Vector now. So iBridge is going to head to the inside. He fakes a dummy, goes back to the outside, and this is now the question: Can iBridge get past Vector now for an amazing P4 here in the Ferrari? That's a question that I'm wondering. I don't know about David, but definitely one to look out for. Oh, yeah, Husa's in the pits.
Nope.
Yeah, I think that's fuel and tyres he's got up on. So he abandoned his battle halfway through the Grand Prix, so, or about a quarter of the way through the Grand Prix. So yeah, definitely very interesting as he's left that party of Pete and Mayo to get some fresh rudder, and now will Fenati get in front of Husa.
Yeah, what you missed was Ibrich getting very close to Vector down to turn 1. In fact, they were side by side in the braking zone. Vector was able to hang on to around the outside and hold the position. It looks like he's managing to sort of keep Ibrich at bay now, but they're coming back onto the main straight now, so he'll have a chance to get in a slipstream and have another go.
He will definitely have the chance to get in the slipstream. V8 power compared to V10 power, and this is now the question. These cars are limited to 11,000 RPM, so it's not exactly the highest amount of RPM, but yeah, these cars are definitely hitting the high 280s down here in Monza, and maybe the low 160s if you have a bit of damage. But definitely these two cars are damaged of the Ferrari and Vector, so yeah, it's very interesting to see both of them so close on the track, and they're P4 and P5 for Vector running definitely wide there. That might once again give Ibrich the opportunity. I think he was just kicking up a bit of gravel there. Yeah, but no, very different, very interesting. As I think that's Mayo. But no, Vector's definitely coming to the pit lane, as he will now be exiting out on fresh rubber. He's got in front of Husa and Fenati, so he's looking very good here. And do you reckon he's pit for a different compounded tyre, or just filled up on fuel?
This stage of the race is probably still a bit too far out to think about putting on the softs for a sort of splash and dash type stop. So I think it's likely that he's just gone for the same compound. In the stream right now, we're actually watching some highlights of the race so far. That start and Vector coming down the tunnel.
Yeah, that's a bit under our control. So we're sorry if we don't commentate on those highlights. But no, it's very good that we have the technology here today to do highlights like that. But Ibrich, he's turned on his lights now. Mayo's had a little bit of something as he's starting to catch up to that Porsche. Looks like Mayo's doing a good job on old tyres now. So we could even start to see yeah, we could start to see that Mayo, he's flashing his lights there, so maybe he has some sort of problem. As Pollux is now into the pit lane, I don't think he got a penalty either, so he should be alright for the time being. He's coming into the pit lane, stops for his pit crew as he fills up on fuel, gets the tyres changed, and that's everyone passing him there now. And the question is, will Vector be able to pass Pollock now? He does. So that means Vector should come out in the position that he was in. Mayo's now moved up to 7th. Matt's moved up to 5th. FFSU has moved up to 6th place. But yes, that was Pollock's coming into the pits there for fresh rubber and fresh tyres. So we'll hope that that he's able to pull something out of the hat here and maybe get a surprise, maybe even P6, P7. I think he was sitting happy in P8 or so. Ooh, and that's a BMW in the background of someone. Yeah, I think that was Fleaboy. Sorry, I couldn't find the camera. That was a BMW. I think he just curt the I think he just curt corner a little bit interesting. Sorry about that, David. About that little bit of a tongue twister. But yeah, David, what do you think about that? Do you reckon that was driver error or maybe something wrong with the car?
Yeah, probably driver error. Lap 25, a few mistakes creeping in, a loss of concentration here and there, but no harm done. Lost a bit of time, but he's okay. And unfortunately we've lost F7C, so his debut in the main championship is going to end up as a non-finish, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's it's very unfortunate for the Porsche driver. So now FFS is the only man left here of the Porsche team, and yeah, everyone looking very good. Matt's the only man to be just inside that 1 minute mark to Cashnet, and looks like Cashnet still maintaining his 2-second gap to his teammate. That 2-second gap hasn't changed whatsoever. So maybe Pirelli just sticking on the rear end of Cashnet by about 2 seconds there until he needs to make another pit stop. But I don't even know if these two Audi drivers will be making a pit stop.
I think it's what 46 litres now for Cashnet with 20 laps to go. I think he's going to have to stop. Pirelli 46 litres as well. I think they're going to have to stop. Yeah, in some ways there's an opportunity for Pirelli if he could have got a bit closer to Cash to just sit in his slipstream and save a bit of fuel and really try and do something with the strategy, because I think his only chance of getting around Cash is going to be in the pit stops or doing something strategic. But he's just a little bit too far back to get any real effect from that. So yeah, he needs to try and make an impact on that 2 seconds.
Yeah, definitely I'd have to agree with that one, as yeah, he kicks up once again. Every driver's been kicking up the dirt on exit of the second Lesmo there. Yeah, we haven't spoken too much about Flip either. Lap 26 of 43 now, so laps are starting to close down now. 4 laps until lap 30, and then it'll be 13 laps from them. But drivers are averaging about a 1 minute 50 around here on good tyres and not pushing very hard. But yeah, everyone's very tame around the track right now. So Vector moves up positions there as Pete in the Cadillac comes into the pit lane, as no one's come into the pit lane at the same time, so we haven't seen too many pit battles. Like Bruno, Pete does not miss his pit box. He fills up on fuel a lot there. Pete was 14.2 litres of fuel left, so he's really filling up. And the question is, do you reckon people will be getting tyre changes onto a different compound, or do you reckon they'll just be keeping their old tyres? It's a no-brainer really to get fresh tyres, right?
Got to be getting fresh tyres, I would have thought. Maybe even just changing the fronts, because they tend to wear much harder than the rears around here. but yeah, definitely fresh tyres, especially with still 20 laps to go. The bigger question is whether you can get away with changing compounds to find a little bit more time, or whether it's just putting the hards back on and going to the end.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that one. I'd be, yeah, with the temperatures as they are today, I'd be running with some hard tires. Yeah, it's definitely very interesting Grand Prix time at this time, as everyone's still pushing simultaneously, as we see Vector up there on more fuel, and he's actually been able to catch up to Mayo, as I have a big yawn once again. He's actually been able to catch up to Mayo, so that's been very good, as he heads very wide there at Parabolica, and he's still got that damage on the car, so we wonder if he has repaired that, or it's just some bodywork damage, which should not be playing too much of a factor, as he's still on the lead lap here, hasn't been lapped just yet, as Mayo's had a little bit of a problem there with FSU, as it came up there. The Porsche driver still hasn't pit yet, so that's 2 more places for Vector, if he can get them in the pit stops, which I presume he'll be able to. But no, everyone's looking very tame. It's quite a long Grand Prix here. Definitely long for me, as I'm on a bit of a tight schedule. But no, everyone seems to be doing the right strategy and doing everything pretty much correctly.
Yeah, the gap between the 2 Audis is coming down. It was 2 seconds a couple of laps ago. It's now down to 1.3, 1.4. Ferrari taking 6/10 out of cash in that last lap.
Wow.
Just looking down the list of times, all these guys are a good second lap quicker than anybody else. Except for Victor, who's matching them for times, lap times, but he's a long way down the field now with the pit stop, and of course he has that 10-second penalty, which is going to cost him at the end.
Probably definitely agree, as we see Husa on fresh tyres. I think Husa's on fresh tyres, starting to catch up to the Renault here. He's right on the back end. I saw that gap car start to come down, and I think that is one of the Ferraris lapping of Ibridge. So we shouldn't see too many cars getting tangled up with lap cars. I tell you what, you never really know, do you? Until you're in the heat of the moment. As Vector still bringing up caution lights for me, as I think he's started to catch up to Mayo now. Yeah, only 2 seconds to Mayo. So Vector definitely faster than these guys, I'd have to say, for now. Definitely starting to push very well.
Yeah, he's nearly 3 seconds a lap faster than Mayo, so only a matter of time before he gets past. And of course, Mayo hasn't pitted yet either, so he'll get through eventually. Just needs to be patient. The Audis are back on terms, more or less. Pirelli taking only a 10th out this time around, but he's still lapping quicker than his teammate.
Yeah, definitely Vector's all over the rear end of Mayo here. They're going to head side by side up to the Ascari chicane. What can they do? Vector's engine's very hot, I should also mention, and Mayo smartly just backs out of that one. He knows he's not fighting him. He knows he can probably get a pretty good tow off the back of that Lamborghini, and maybe even be able to make up a bit of ground on FSS. But yeah, everything looks pretty tame for right now. Into the Grand Prix, so yeah. Just having a little bit of a stretch here, as we're about, I reckon, 3/4 of the way through now, and I don't think I'll be able to make it till the end of this Grand Prix. As of course, I'm a 15-year-old boy. Unfortunately, I can't make it from here to school in that time, so I will be leaving in around about 15 minutes or so, unfortunately. to get ready to go to school. But unfortunately, I think this race is going to be an absolute cracker. And I know that my two boys here will take very good care of you in the commentary. But I'll probably be here for another, I reckon, 5 laps or so until around about lap maybe lap 34 or so until I need to get going. But I'll try and stick it out for as long as possible, and see how long I can go until I need to get going. But no, everyone looks very, very tame for right now. Very controlled, as I think that's Pirelli starting to catch Cashnet. This is the first time I've seen these two get this close in a Grand Prix in a long, long time. As no, they're definitely starting to pull that gap down. Pirelli is, as he's definitely starting to make an impact on the timings and the gap to Cashnet, which is really, really interesting. So, David, do you reckon really we might see? Yeah.
No, it's really close again. I wonder whether Pirelli's been a little bit easier on his tyres during this stint, and as they get towards the end of the stint, he's just starting to bring it back.
Yes, definitely. I'd have to agree with that one more the less, as we see the two Audi drivers start to definitely push now. And do you reckon these Audi drivers might even stay up till the end of the Grand Prix? They'll definitely be pushing it on very, very cold and worn tyres. But we'll definitely, this will be the question to ask now. If they can start to push a little bit harder and maybe make it till lap 43.
Yeah, I think they could potentially do it, but I think it's most likely they're going to have to stop. But we'll see. Very interesting.
Yeah, you can only hope here now, as everyone looks like to be starting to get into the ending of Grand Prix groove. Definitely groove in the move, and great band, by the way. You'll have to start to be pushing now, as the two are actually starting to catch up to some lap traffic. So if I was the lap car here, I would not want to be getting in the way of these guys, because God forbid you do. You'll definitely be starting to hold them up, as it looks like one of the BMWs is starting to hold up Cashnet there. No, he gets out of the way. Will he get out of the way for the other Audi driver? He does, which is very, very smart, letting those two through relatively quickly. But it still looks like there's a little bit of yeah, that gap is now starting to extend again. So maybe that Audi driver did hold up the second Audi of Cashnet, of Pirelli, I believe. But no, both of them looking very, very good at this middle stage of the Grand Prix, especially here on lap 31. Only about 10 laps remaining. No, about 11 laps remaining until the end of the Grand Prix. But David, can you explain to us what the driver will be thinking about this stage?
Yeah, I mean, certainly for the Audi guys, they're going to be thinking about the strategy, things that we've been talking about. You know, it's can they make it to the end? Are they going to have to make a pit stop? Is it worth making a pit stop, or are you going to lose more time? So just your concentration levels are difficult to maintain for such a long time. So tiredness setting in. But yeah, it's going to be about where the strategies are, what the guys are doing, and also just thinking about things like this championship situation. Is it worth having battles on track, or just sitting back and taking the points you've got? So yeah, lots going through the head.
Yeah, definitely lots going through the driver's head. Sorry, I bumped my mic a little bit there. A lot going through the driver's head, as you can see. Cashnet really starting to let a little bit of a gap now. He's starting to get that comfortable 2-second gap once again, and we haven't seen these drivers set a very competitive time. Set a time that might show us that their tyres are getting worn, but they are quite low on fuel actually. I don't know if 26.8 litres will make it to the end here at the Grand Prix, but only time will really tell once again. But yeah, the drivers do look like they're starting to struggle Definitely look like they're starting to have a little bit of fatigue. Definitely a guy who has sim raced in a Daytona 24 hours on a 4-hour stint. It's fatigue definitely starts to set in at about 11 o'clock at night. And that is FFS coming into the pit lane. The Porsche driver now leaving his little pack. Once again, it looks like everyone's in their little choreographed packs practically. A lot of P words. But no, it looks like he's coming in for fuel as well, and maybe changing the front tyres as we were talking about before. So it's definitely interesting to see so many drivers on different laps to pit and have a bit of a interesting strategy. Definitely here. So David, once again, I'm going to come to you for the expertise on the field of pit stops and on where cars are going to come out. So do you reckon FFS will be able to make it back into the top 10 with fresh tyres and more fuel?
Well, thankfully you don't need my expertise to answer that question, because he's come out of the pits in 10th, so he'll definitely finish in the top 10. I would have thought. But yeah, interestingly, the gap between the Audis is back up to 2 seconds now. So I wonder if Cash was just going through a little bit of phase, trying to see if he can make it to the end, because we're now looking at 24 litres of fuel on board, 11 laps to go. So you know, both those Audis are getting into a sort of phase where they might just make it to the end. These need a sort of very short pit stop at the end.
Yeah, definitely the drivers will start to be to pushing the limits now, and starting to push the limits of their cars. As we see the Porsche really starting to cane it up now. Mayo has actually been overtaken, I forgot to mention this, by the Lamborghini driver of Vector. So he's got up back into P6 now, and now chasing down his teammate Matt, which I believe it's only about a second's gap to the two. So we could see two Lamborghini drivers having a bit of a Force India battle. So you never know, they like in the Formula 1 in Belgium, we could see maybe, or even a Fernando Alonso and Jolyon Palmer, maybe a little bit of a tussle here at Monza. But you never know, with fresh tyres and fresh compounds, anything could strike at any moment really, where Matt just loses his traction and isn't able to grab it too much time. We haven't also spoken to Heo very much. Heo, how do you reckon this Grand Prix is going to finish out?
I think Heo might be busy sorting out some issues with the technicalities behind the scenes, because we need to figure out how we can carry on broadcasting on set. I also forgot to mention that Vector did also get in front of Matt there, so a very good job. I think Matt just practically led him through. I think Matt fought it too much and realized that Fernando is faster than you, and he was able to get past relatively quickly, and with definitely a lot of ease, without the drivers having too much of a technical problem. Yeah, nice to see some teammate cooperation there, and it's, you know, it's one of those things when you're driving in similar cars, you want to see how well you're matched against your teammate, and both Cash and Ferrelli and the Audis are very similarly paced, and it looks like Vector and Matteo are pretty similarly paced as well. But they seem to be the only sort of teammate groupings that are together on track.
Yeah, it does look, except for, like you said, Cashnet and Ferrelli, but Ibrich really outscoring his teammate Mayo up there in P5. But yeah, Vector doing a very good job after his pit stop. He's practically been able to make what he lost back without the struggles with too much traffic. But here on lap 34 of 43, only about 10 laps remaining now in the Grand Prix, as it should be, well, if they're lapping at about 149, it should be around about I don't know, around about 12 minutes or so until the end of the Grand Prix, but definitely a very exciting one so far, as everyone's looking definitely to push. And the question is now, will Vector be able to catch up to iBridge? It's a huge gap to try and close down in 10 laps, but I don't know. Anything's possible in racing, so we'll see. David, what do you reckon about that?
I think what's interesting now is if you look at the fuel situation, I do think Cashin and Pirelli are going to have to stop as things stand. We've got a 40-second lead on Ibrich, but Ibrich has 27 litres of fuel, and that means he's got a chance of making it to the end. So we could have some real drama at the end here if the two Audis have to come in for a splash and dash. And yeah, and then Ibrich might find his way up to the front.
Yeah, it definitely will be very interesting. As I'm actually taking a look at the stream right now. Everything looks very good. Thank you all for tuning in so far. As I haven't actually noticed that iBridge has been running his headlights this whole time. It's I believe he's coming up to a lap car of one of the Porsches there. So this could slow him down a little bit. If the lap car doesn't get out of the way, it's obviously he'll be under blue flag racing here, so he will have to get out of the way, and that's a rule in motorsport. If you don't know what a blue flag means, it just means that a faster car is coming through and you have to let it through. It comes out in races, usually most of the time in qualifying if someone's on a fast lap and you're on a slow lap. But yeah, it's very good that the Porsche knows his place, and iBridge also knows his place as well, and knows who needs to get out of the way and who needs to come through. But I think iBridge might be getting a little hot under the helmet with 25 litres of fuel left. He might be able to make it to the end, but once again, it's very, very close. I actually should take a look at Flip, 10.9 laps of fuel, so that'll be very interesting. 16.3 for the Audi and 14.7, so Flip definitely extremely low on fuel. David, do you reckon Flip will make it to the end?
If he gets out and pushes, yeah, no problem.
Okay, so we're definitely on the verge here, here in Monza of these GT3 cars finishing the race here today. Everyone's a little bit tense under the helmet. And there's Flip definitely tense under the helmet there as he kicks up a bit of gravel there to try and push to maybe close. It's 27 gap to the closest car, so that's very interesting with the two Audis still pulling away. It's a monumental amount of time. I reckon I will make it to the end of this Grand Prix before I have to go to school, but only time will tell once again. No, everyone's looking very tame. Looks like all the battles had calmed down. Husa, he obviously came in for a pit stop. He's going to be fine on anything if he doesn't make a mistake. That Porsche's been able to close up to... No, that's a lap car once again. Pollux, yeah, it's a big gap. It's around about 10 seconds and 10... Or actually, it's about 6 laps now. So, everyone will be trying to push as hard as possible to get that final position. Pollux doing well in P9 around Monza here in that Renault. I think his teammate, yeah, he hasn't quit yet. So yeah, I've always run by the mentality, never quit a league race because you never know what's going to happen. Someone could crash out in front of you. There could be, obviously in Project Cars there's no safety car, but in other games like Formula 1 and iRacing and things like that, it could be safety cars. So yeah, it's very interesting. Fernandes, I should also mention, very low on fuel as well, so he should be alright with 6 laps to go to make it to the end. And he's also quite low, looks like there on the rear end of the car, so maybe he's having a little pawn for straight line speed as well. But no, everyone looks very, very tame. Pete, obviously one of the big losers out. He obviously came in for fresh rubber and more fuel as well, to try and make this Cadillac come to the home, but he has actually made up, I think we started with 15, so theoretically he's made up 2 positions, which is very good. But David, do you reckon we'll see any more overtakes into the Grand Prix, or no?
No, I think they're fairly spread out. I suppose it depends, again, what happens with the Audis. If they're not going to pit, perhaps Pirelli can get close and have a go at Cash. We did see them come together at Rapuno, so we might see that again. But yeah, looking down the field, apart from that, there aren't a lot of close battles going on really. Matteo and Mayo possibly at some point. But yeah, let's hope we get a grandstand finish once the pit strategies all shake out.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to try and get the grandstand finish with fireworks and everything. We've organised that here at GAVRA Racing because we're that good that we were able to do that. But no, we'll hope that everyone can make it to the end of the Grand Prix. Obviously, Vector with that time penalty. I'm not sure how long of a time penalty it is, but obviously speeding in the pit lane. I think it's a 10-second time penalty from memory. So. Yeah, it's 10 seconds, as I've just been informed by my my trusted helping hand here. But no, it looks like definitely everyone's starting to try and push a little bit harder with 4 laps remaining in the Grand Prix, 5 laps actually remaining in the Grand Prix. But no, everyone looks like to be still quite tame under the cockpit of the car. But yeah, everyone looking very good.
Yeah, we're back down to 1.5 seconds between Cash in it and Pirelli, so there's still a chance here. We might see a battle, but I still think, well, 5 laps to go. These guys are going to be so close on fuel, so close. I still think these Audis may have to stop, and if they do, Edrich has got a real chance. Flip is pitting, so he's definitely.
Oh, Flip's in the pits. Yeah, I knew that he wouldn't make it to the end with 2.4 litres of fuel. I knew it. And now this is going to definitely open it up to Ibrich. So now is the question, where will Ibrich come out? And yeah, Ibrich has got up into a P3 now for the home Ferrari town, and this will just be an amazing treat for him at his home Grand Prix here in Italy. Obviously a beautiful country, Italy. But you can never say never. You never know where Flip's going to come out, and now question is, will Vectro get out in front of him? This will be close. I don't think Vectro is actually anywhere near him. No, he's not. That was not close whatsoever. What am I talking about? Now Fanati's into the pit lane. Yeah, he was quite low on fuel as well. He wouldn't have made it to the end either. But no, very close here. And do you reckon now, as we've seen that, the Audis might come into the pit lane?
It's so hard to say. I'm watching different cameras for you, so I'm going to stick with one of the Audis this whole lap and see how much fuel he gets. So here we go, they're pitting, or Pirelli's pitting anyway.
Well, Pirelli is now into the pit lane, and now it's the question, what's his teammate going to do? Because this could play out for the championship. Pirelli, obviously, probably one of the smarter mans here. Now, will Ibrich get in front of him? I believe he will. That is a Ferrari engine sound.
He's at Ascari, so he's got quite a long way to go.
It's 43 seconds. Yeah, that is a...
Pirelli's exiting the pits now, so he's not going to make it. I
don't think he is. That's gutting for the Ferrari driver. Yeah, that's definitely not good there for Ibrich, as keeping one eye on the time, one eye on the lap. And yeah, I think I will have to go with the final 3 laps here. Unfortunately, I'm going to leave it to David and Heo here to end off the stream. I'm going to say my goodbyes now. Unfortunately, on lap 40, yeah, I can't hold it out for any longer. So, unfortunately, I'll see you guys next week. I believe it's Algarve, the next Grand Prix. So yeah, Algarve in Portugal. I think that's where it is.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I'll catch everyone next time. I'm gonna sign off here. David, I'll leave it with you. Here, I'll leave it with you as well. And I'll catch you next time. I'm gonna sign off here. David, I'll leave it with you. Here, I'll leave it with you as well.
So, well, there we are. So, Finn's had to go off to school,
Okay,
which
cheers,
is
Finn. Good to see you.
the perils of
Well, there we are. So, Finn's had to go off to school.
sim racing. And all eyes on Cash in it, who is coming round Parabolica, we think, to head into the pits for a splash and dash. And then we'll be watching his teammate Ferrelli to see whether he can leapfrog him. So, Cash into the pits. And then we'll be watching Ferrelli's 27 seconds behind. He's heading to leapfrog him. So, Cash into the pits. Ferrelli's 27 seconds behind. He's heading through Ascari now, as you can see on screen. Looks like Cash in it's probably going to just about stay out, but we shall see. Cash in it has made it to his pit box, and Ferrelli's on his way to Parabolica. It's going to be a very short stop though. Exiting now. Ferrelli exiting Parabolica. It's going to be close. It's going to be very close. It'll come down to how quickly Cash in it can get back up to speed. He's exiting the pits now. The BMW Flayboy is going to just about get in the way. Is he going to get out of the way? He will. Ferrelli coming up behind, dives past the Audi, but it is as you were. Cash in it leads. Ferrelli second. The gap is 1 second, as it has been pretty much throughout the entire race. And well, that was pretty well choreographed between the two Audis ultimately, and these two have been the class of the field all day long. A little bit of a battle further down the field. We've got Mayo, and I believe that's Faniti, who is quite far down at the back of the field, but a little bit of a battle further down the order. But all eyes on the two Audis. Cash in it leading Ferrelli by just under a second with a couple of laps to go. Will we get a battle between the two teammates, or are we going to see them just roll over the line in a 1-2? It's been an interesting race for those of you who've been with us throughout. A good start, a clean race through turn one in the opening few laps with some good action. But the field has spread out quite a bit now, and as they have been all season, really, those two Audis very much in a class of their own, and these two still battling as they come through the Parabolica. Cash in it exiting onto the back straight now, and starting lap 42 of 43, so we're very much in the closing stages of this race. It did look for a while as if the two Audis might have been able to make it to the end without pitting, but not quite. But you have to say they've got the strategy pretty much spot on. Unless I'm mistaken, Ibrich crossing the line in third now. He has managed to go this entire race without stopping, and he's going to make it to the end. An impressive effort from Ibrich. He will finish on the podium in the Ferrari at Monza, which is, well, given how quick the Audis have been, there's not much more you can ask from, really. As they head through Lesmo 1, building the speed up again into Lesmo 2. Fantastic corner, this. Nice camber. Run out wide, back on the gas. Kick up a little bit of dust just for style. And head down now towards the famous Ascari corner under the old banking. Braking at the bridge, chuck it left into Ascari. Tricky corner this, you have to be careful not to get too much curb on the inside as you go through. It can flip you around, and then make sure you get a good run onto the back straight down to Parabolica. It looks like, although Ferrelli is closing in, I'm not sure these two are going to battle, but we shall see. Out of Parabolica. And crossing the start-finish line to begin the 43rd and final lap, or at least I hope it's the 43rd and final lap. It certainly is. Ferrelli, is he going to go for it? He's on the outside, Cash in, holding it to the inside, on the brakes. Oh, he just couldn't quite keep it, but he's going to try around the inside, and no. Cash in it holds the position, so Despite what I was saying, it looks like these two are going to battle for this epic last lap from these two Audis. Can Pirelli find the way past? He certainly had a go into turn one, but well defended by Cash in it. Can he get him on the brakes into Curva Grande? No, he's going to hold this time. Perhaps look to get the run down to Ascari or down to Parabolica for the last time. Cash in it goes a little bit wide as we have a Renault off in the background, but we'll stick with this battle as we go through Lesmo 1. Pirelli very close now, but Lesmo 2 is not an overtaking opportunity. He's going to have to stick in tight behind and hope for a good run down to Ascari. He's close, he's in the slipstream, but it's a short straight and Ascari is a difficult place to overtake. Cash in it, goes defensive, and he's going to be safe through Ascari. So now it's all about the run that Pirelli can get down the back straight. Cash was slow in the first part of Ascari, but he seemed to be quite quick out. But Cash in it's got the run now. Can he get him into Parabolica? What a fantastic finish after 43 laps. These two cars absolutely neck and neck into Parabolica. Cash has lost the place, but Pirelli's gone wide at Parabolica. And the side-by-side, they're lagging. We don't really know what's going on as they come to the line. Who's it going to be? Pirelli's in front. And it looks like Pirelli's got it at the line to win here in Monza. What a fantastic race that was. I apologise if that lag came through. On the stream, last lap, a fantastic last corner. Pirelli wins to catch my breath. Flip on his way into Parabolica, also lagging. Apologies for that. Good effort from Flip, but that Nissan just couldn't quite make it the distance without pitting, so he lost that place to Ibrich. But good effort from Flip. He'll keep up his championship challenge with a 4th place. Vectro is coming round to take 5th. He has a 10-second penalty, but he will remain in front of Mayo even with that 10-second penalty. So a 5th place for Vectro. Another race for him where he's been quick, done well, but again he's made a few mistakes and could have had a better result than 5th place. But again, well done in persevering and bringing it home. Mayo, a slightly surprising but well fought 6th place for him if he can get it to the line through one last corner. Good effort from Mayo. And 3rd and 6th for the two Ferraris. Mayo 7th in the championship at the moment with 63 points. So another decent finish from him. Mayo coming to the line to take 6th place. And we've got a bit of a... Oh dear. Now then, that's a whole bunch of slow cars. And Matteo, who has not finished yet, has got caught up in that, and it's all kicking off. So I think we'll click away from that and watch Pirelli come round, waving to the crowd. Winner of the Italian Grand Prix. And then you have confirmation Pirelli in the Audi winning from Cash in it by 1/10 of a second. A great race there. Ibrich and Ferrari rounding out the podium. Then we have Flip, Vectro, Mayo, Matteo, Pollux, FFS on his debut in the main series, and Husa rounding out the top 10. Thanks to everyone for joining me and Finn for this Italian Grand Prix. Apologies for some of the technical difficulties we had at the end. But a great race here at Monza, and looking forward to next week and the Algarve. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.